Okay, hello everybody. Today we're going to do this question. Uh, so, uh, let's read the question. I know that all of the programs have their own way of doing things, but for me, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this question and every other question that I do, um, just in the way that I like to do it. If you prefer a different way, that's fine. If you use this method, that's fine. The most important thing is to one, get the answers correct, and two, get them correct for the right reason. And three, actually, understanding why the incorrect answers are incorrect. Okay, so with that being said, Davis decided to kill Adams. He set out for Adams' house. Before he got there, he saw Brooks, who resembled Adams. Thinking that Brooks was Adams, Davis shot at Brooks. The shot missed Brooks, but wounded Case, who was some distance away, and Davis had not seen Case. So, in a prosecution under a statute that provides any attempt to commit murder, the district attorney should indicate that the intended victim was/were. And for now, we're going to stop there. I don't actually like to read the answer choices before I start to look at analyze the question. Um, because, at least for me, I feel like if I look at the answers, it'll influence the way that I think about the question. And so, what I like to do is I like to think about the question first, come to a conclusion, and only then look at the answers. So, So the question is asking who, if Davis is charged with attempted murder, who did he attempt to murder? If you recall, the definition of attempt is to, with specific intent. This is a specific intent crime to take a substantial step towards completing the crime without actually having to complete the crime. So, um, murder. We should look at murder as well, since it's named there. Murder is the unlawful killing of another with malice aforethought, malice proven by intent to kill, intent to seriously harm, depraved heart, and felony murder. Okay, so, you know, what happens here with Adams? So, does Davis have the specific intent to commit murder of, to commit murder for uh, Adams? And the answer, of course, is yes, because Davis decided to kill Adams. Did he take a substantial step towards committing the crime? Well, maybe the prosecution could say, well, he went out from wherever he was. He set out for Adams' house, and he had a gun with him. Since later we see that he picked out the gun. He pointed the gun. He pulled the trigger. The bullet went out. But here's the thing. Um, Adams wasn't actually ever in the picture here, right? It was Brooks. And so, when the court is considering whether or not Davis had taken a substantial step, one thing it's going to look at is whether or not the crime was actually close to being completed. And in this case, even if, Davis had spent more time in the firing range and learned how to, not miss, um, Adams was never actually in any danger because um, because the guy that Davis shot at was Brooks. And so this means if he was never in any danger, then um, the crime wasn't actually close to being completed at all, even if Davis was in Adams' house. Therefore, chances are the court's not going to charge him with attempted murder. Okay, so what about Brooks? Well, immediately, one thing that pops out at you when you read this fact pattern is that, well, hey, Davis wants to kill Adams, but he accidentally tries to shoot this other guy called Brooks. Well, hey, doesn't transferred intent apply here? And the answer is no. Transferred intent only applies to completed crimes and not attempts. If Davis were to have shot Brooks and not missed and killed Brooks, then maybe things would be different. Then he'd be charged with the murder of Brooks potentially and the murder of Adams potentially. But that's not what happened here. So, um, because we're not able to look at it through the guise of transferred intent, we have to look at it through just, did Davis have the specific intent required to kill or required for attempt to apply? And in this case, the prosecution's going to say, okay, well, Davis saw Brooks, aimed the gun, shot the gun, fired the bullet went. Davis intended to kill Brooks insofar as he saw this guy and he said, I'm going to kill this guy. Davis is going to say, well, I thought it was Adams. I didn't actually intend to kill Brooks. But in this case, that's not going to be enough, right? Because Davis saw, even though Davis thought that Adams was, or Brooks was Adams, he still intended to kill whoever this guy was, right? That mistake is incidental. He intended to kill when he shot the gun, and so the court's probably going to find that he has the specific intent required for attempt. And was there a substantial step in this case? Well, yeah, Davis went from wherever he was with the gun, pulled out his gun, aimed the gun, pulled the trigger, the bullet fired, and the crime ultimately was not completed because the bullet missed. So, therefore, um, the court's probably going to find that that Davis is guilty of attempted murder of Brooks because there was intent to kill. There was a substantial step towards completing the crime, but the crime was ultimately not completed because the bullet missed. Okay, so Adams, we said no. Brooks, we said yes. But what about case? So again, transferred intent does not apply to attempted crimes. So we need to look at whether Davis had the specific intent required to kill or required for attempted murder for case. And in this case, we get it in this case, um, Adams, or excuse me, Davis shot the gun, and the gun actually hit, and it says that it wounded Case. So he almost got him. But the thing is, remember from the facts, Davis was some distance away, and Case was some distance away, and Davis didn't even know he was there. So, because of that, he can't. It's unlikely that the court's going to find that the specific intent is satisfied because Davis didn't even know that Case was there. So how could he intend to kill somebody that he didn't even know was there? When he was aiming and shooting, he was shooting at Brooks, not Case. And even though he hit Case, it's not enough. Um, it's not enough to show intent to kill. So even though there was a substantial step in this case, insofar as, gun pulled out, gun shot, gun bullet hit Case's body, Case is wounded, and, almost died, but didn't, um, there's still the specific intent is not there. So the court's going to find that Davis is not guilty of attempted murder of Case. Okay, so we said Adams no, Case no, Brooks yes. So let's think about our answers then. So Adams is in A and D, and we said Adams is no, so A and D have to be wrong. Um, we said also no for Case, so C has to be wrong. Um, show that means that our only answer is the only answer we could possibly choose here is B for Brooks.